Hey, so we're deep into 2025, we've talked about a ton of video games, and we rank them here sometimes. So today, we're rounding up 10 of the best games of 2025 so far, roughly the first half of the year. There are actually a lot of games, and it was hard to narrow it down to 10, so we're sticking with games that we liked here at Game Ranks on the team, and games that are just generally considered popular. We got 10 cool games to talk about, so let's get started off with number 10. Hazelight's newest joint, Split Fiction, is absolutely awesome. Does it reach the highs emotionally in the storytelling, something like their previous game, It Takes Two? I don't know about that, but where Split Fiction really excels is variety, crazy level design, and over-the-top, awesome, fun gameplay scenarios. So if you know these games, you know it's a fully cooperative experience. You and another person, you only have to buy one copy of the game, play through this adventure where you play as two authors. One is a science fiction author, the other is a fantasy author. And suddenly they get zapped into some of their creative works, and they gotta run, jump, and do video game stuff to survive. But it's just really, really well done. It's creative, it's well paced, and you're going to be entertained through the entire runtime. From big fantasy battlefields and flying around with dragons and getting into weird Dune Prince of Persia style adventures to big cyberpunk neon cities, robot factories, and other weird stuff. This game is just consistently entertaining, but I gotta say, the end of the game, like the final sequence, just does something so technologically interesting. You gotta see it to believe it. If you like playing video games and you kind of understand or appreciate the evolution of technology in games and just how things are displayed on screen, Split Fiction might throw you for a loop. That's all I'll say. No spoilers. Next at number 9 is something a little different. It's The Alters. This is the newest game from the folks behind Frostpunk and This War of Mine. The Alters, the best way I can describe it, and I described it this way in the Before You Buy, is kind of like Fallout Shelter, but in 3D with a really, really deep story. So in this, you're Jan Dulski, a guy stranded on a planet with only his space station, and he has to survive. Unfortunately, that space station was supposed to be manned by a whole crew. His whole crew is dead. So he has no choice but to essentially clone himself to get everything done. Research technology for new experiments, cook food to survive, go out of the space station and explore and mine for resources. You need more people, so you have more copies of you, but all of these copies have essentially lived different lives than you. So you build a med lab, then you need to staff it with a doctor, so you clone the doctor version of you, a version of you that decided to go to med school. It's really weird, it's really trippy, but it's also really fun and pretty compelling from a story and character perspective. Not to mention the fact that it's just a good sci-fi game with some really, really good survival elements. You should definitely check this one out. I'd say the type of person that should check this out is somebody who loves a challenge, likes weird sci-fi, likes experimental games, and AA games. The Alters honestly might surprise you. Next over at number 8 is the new Mario Kart World. Mario Kart is back, and it's bigger than ever. Is it the best Mario Kart ever? I think the jury's still out on that. Is it worth $80 US? I think the jury's still out on that. But there is no denying it, like, beyond all that, it is just a good-ass Mario Kart game. The amount of different courses, thanks to that open world structure, the design of some of those areas and like the intricacy within them, the level of detail on all the character skins. Nintendo kind of took an if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of approach with this Mario Kart, but it's still got plenty of new tricks up its sleeve with different items, new movesets, and some solid online mode offerings, not to mention Knockout Tour. It's just a really, really fun mode. To me, that makes a lot of the experience. This is definitely a game best enjoyed with friends, but either way, it's a 2025 game, and we like it, but I'm just really curious to see how it goes in the mainstream, because Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, those are like some of the best-selling games of all time. So I'm curious to see if Mario Kart World continues to be that type of beast. Next at number 7, the first Berserker Kazan. If you're looking for a Souls-like game this year that really hits, don't sleep on this one. This is the game that since its release, it just keep on chugging. With a lot more people jumping into it, having some great Steam reviews, and yes, it is definitely worth checking out. Even if it's based on something that not every gamer is aware of, the Dungeon and Fighter franchise, even on its own, it's a really good experience. It's also incredibly challenging, like even for a Souls-like style game. So I guess if you're a masochist, man, you should definitely apply. Next, over at number 6, we have something out of left field. It's Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. This is another sleeper. This is one that just kind of came out of nowhere and has slowly been climbing the charts, with people on Steam and console really loving it. What Tainted Grail: Fall of Avalon is essentially an Elder Scrolls style game. It's that style of RPG, from like loot, combat, all the general systems, but it's set in a really interesting dark fantasy world. Visually, like graphic wise, it might not look like much, but it does have a ton of creative art direction, music, and some good world building and lore. A lot of people are looking for that next thing, that next kind of Bethesda style Elder Scrolls feeling RPG, but Bethesda is definitely kind of slow to making them. So Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon beat him to the punch, and it's just a fun breath of fresh air. Even if it's very much a heavily inspired breath of fresh air, it's still really cool. A lot of people were really begging for a game like this, and they got what they wanted. It is surprisingly cool. It's not ultra long, like it doesn't overstay its welcome. You should consider it if this is your type of genre. Next at number 5, Doom: The Dark Ages. Doom's back with another one, and once again, they've changed up the formula. Doom 2016 was pretty straightforward, Doom Eternal was lightning fast with a bunch of resources, and Doom: The Dark Ages is a little chunkier, more aggressive, still pretty fast, but also shakes things up from the time period, the setting, the types of weapons you get, and some more open areas and levels. Along with that, there's sequences where you're driving a mech or flying on a like fire-breathing half-robot dragon. It's crazy. It's like a metal album cover come to life. It's not perfect. I'd say that, you know, some of those mech sequences feel a little repetitive, but moment-to-moment gameplay, throwing around your murder-style Captain America shield and shotgunning demons in the face, really, like, has never felt so good. I like with these new Doom games, they don't just do the same thing over and over again, they try different things, and I think that results in every Doom fan having a personal favorite. Is Doom: The Dark Ages gonna end up being yours? Well, I don't know, but there is a gun that shoots smashed up skulls as shrapnel. They really got creative with the brutality on this one, you love to see it. Next at number 4, we have Death Stranding 2. The newly released new game from Metal Gear Solid creator Hideo Kojima and his team at Kojima Productions really is something. It's still very much like the first Death Stranding. You're still delivering packages and walking around. So if you didn't like that game, I don't know if you're gonna like this one, but this one adds a lot more stuff. Combat encounters are way better this time around thanks to just a lot of abilities. Stealth is better thanks to a lot of cool tools. And personally, I found the story to be paced better and distributed throughout the game in much better fashion. The visuals are absolutely out of this world. The music and the soundtrack is really incredible. And this game, from like boss battles to just crazy story sequences, has a lot of really unforgettable moments. Next at number 3, we have Elden Ring Night Reign. If you were looking for more Elden Ring, this is a little different. And it's definitely not for every, Dark Souls or FromSoft fan, but Elden Ring Night Reign is definitely something cool to play with a good group of friends. It can be incredibly challenging. It has a really, really engaging gaggle of bosses that can be ramped up quite a bit. You jump in, you play through open areas with your friends. You actually choose kind of like a character class. It's interesting, so it's kind of like a fun way to get out of your comfort zone with a typical build you might roll with. Some new and old bosses show up, and honestly, it's just something really good to hold you over until the next From Software thing, which God knows when that's going to be. Now, down at number 2, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Now, much has been said about this game already, but this was a surprise for a lot of people. This is a cinematic JRPG-style adventure with turn-based battles, a gripping narrative, and a unique new world. Expedition 33 just tells a really, really interesting story of a group of people in this fractured world, where every year the oldest generation of people die off. So, a group of adventurers every year set out to go see if they can solve the problem and defeat this evil magical paintress that's causing all these problems. It's a magical world filled with all kinds of creatures and quirky characters, and the turn-based battles are absolutely awesome. If you like anything from Lost Odyssey, Final Fantasy, you name it. This game just has really great turn-based battles, some good boss fights, and quite a bit of challenge. So there's actually some real-time elements to this because in between turns, you can actually dodge and parry. And some of these bosses can be absolutely brutal. But either way, if you like the sweaty gameplay challenge and RPG stats, or you're just here for a good story, Expedition 33 just kicks ass. I've said it before, I've sung its praises a lot. It's one of my favorite games of the year personally. From the music to the creativity to even the story of how this game was made, I just love everything about it. Now down at number 1, speaking of loving everything about it, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. All of us here at GameRanks, we just had a hell of a lot of fun with this one. This is a bigger, badder sequel with a larger world, more detailed towns, more interesting NPCs and side quests, and just another experience to live the life of Henry of Skalitz in this historically accurate medieval world. This game does a good job depicting life at that time with some pretty realistic sword battles and horseback riding and warfare, but also it's got really A+ characters. A lot of love and charm was put into this game, and you can absolutely tell. This is a game world I just spent countless hours in. Look, I liked Kingdom Come Deliverance, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 really just delivered on the promise of the first game in so many ways. It's a technical achievement, it's a creative achievement, and I think most gamers should definitely play it. So those are 10 of the best games of 2025, but like I said, it's hard to cram it all into 10, so we're gonna cheat like we often do, with a bonus section. First, Schedule 1. You probably saw this one go viral. It was worth the hype. This is kind of like a drug dealer simulator game with a quirky, cartoony art style, but with actual gameplay chops to back it up. Also, Blueprints. If you are a puzzle game person, this is absolutely for you. It's probably one of the best puzzle experiences we've seen in years, and that's saying something because this genre certainly has its standouts, but Blueprints is something else. Also, Ender Magnolia. If you're looking for something a little bit different, a kind of 2D Metroidvania with an anime art style, this game's got a lot going for it. It released right at the start of 2025 and kind of slipped under people's radar, but at this point, it is the legendary overwhelmingly positive on Steam. Also, last but certainly not least, don't miss Dune Awakening. This game is finally fully released, and it's actually pretty awesome. If you like a kind of survival RPG with MMO mechanics, it's pretty cool here to live, build, and survive on the world of Arrakis. But like I said, those are 10 or so games, some of the best of 2025 so far. This type of list is made for arguing. We argued about making it, so let us know in the comments your personal choices. If you like talking games with us every single day, clicking a like button's all you gotta do. It really helps us out. Also, if you haven't already, consider subscribing because we put out videos every single day. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.